So like I was closing people on that offer and I was like, yo, this is cool. I'm making money, but I'm just not enjoying the outcome. Is like, do I want to brand myself as the person that helps people post content? And I just kept realizing that, and that's even a saturated niche, or that's a saturated market. So I've just been making the adjustments, bro. And every time I update my offer, I make a tweak to my offer, I got to look myself in the mirror and be like, yo, is this what you want to do? Right? Is this the journey you want to take your clients on?
Welcome to Entrepreneurhood, where we break entrepreneurship down into 3 simple pillars: business, lifestyle, and motivation. Our goal is to use our personal experiences as industry leaders to guide and inspire young entrepreneurs to see the lesson in every challenge. Because we understand that companies don't succeed, people do. Now, welcome the leaders of Entrepreneurhood, Lakim and KB.
Welcome to the neighborhood. You got your boy Lakim in the building, and I got my brother KB in the building with me. We on episode 61, and we decided to call this one, Take a Look in the Mirror, right? And before we jump into what this episode is all about and why we even decided to choose that topic, KB and I, we need to jump into our segment, W's and L's, right? So every week, KB and I, we are going to be discussing either a win or a lesson that we had for the previous week. Now, KB's been on the W train. Things have been like really, building the momentum. So we're going to see if KB this week, what you bring into the community. You got a W or you got an L? How you feeling?
Listen, man, we're going to be taking W's for the rest of 2023. But yeah, I definitely got a W. I actually got word confirmation yesterday from Chase to have official partnership.
What?
Yeah. So we're doing our first event December 16th.
Yo, and congratulations. Wait, so how did that happen?
By, doing credit consulting and giving them, a lot of value. So, within the last 3 months, I would say it had to do at least $1.5 million in value.
Oh, snap.
So, as you build that relationship, with Chase, of course, how they act. Very, very prime. But they want to work and do a community outreach event. And it's going to be a free event. It's called Better Business Workshop. So it's going to help entrepreneurs and business owners how to increase their revenue, how to, keep track of their cash flow. And so it's going to be dope. So, and it's going to be, where we from. So it's going to be in Green Acres.
Wow.
Yeah. So it's going to be nostalgic. December 16th. Me and Gladys actually on it. So it had to go through the approval. It had to go through the clearance. So Infinite Wealth got approved. So I'm like, all right, bet. Now we good to go. We could actually promote Chase now with our flyers. So we got the compliance, approved. And yeah, it's gonna be up, man. It's gonna be up. It's gonna be a dope event. And we want the right people that's being in, like real business owners. So yeah, we're gonna start promoting it next week.
So, bro, today's November 16th. So that's literally 30 days from today.
Yeah, it's crunch time.
Wow. So wait, so you and Glad partnering for this event?
Yeah. So we're gonna set it up and just bring out the community and really give them the game about business aspect of it, of how to really better their business.
That is solid. Yeah, I was not expecting that, bro. Like that's some big news, and I think that's definitely a W, and that's why we do these segments, because now in 4 episodes from now, when the event happens, we could see what was the W or the L from that event. So that's gonna be cool to see.
Yeah, man, I'm excited. So stay tuned.
Solid, yeah. And then for me, nothing really like magical happened last week. I was trying to decide, like, did I have any W's, any lessons? But the only thing that really came to me, I guess the most exciting thing that happened to me last week was I made a lot of progress on my planner and on my app, right? So the new planner, the championship planner, the premium edition I received the samples. So I have a new color wave that's going to be dropped January 1st. And I'm just adding more value to the planners. I'm including more products. And I just really want people to feel like they won a prize or it increases their status, right? So with the new planner, I want them to feel like a significant improvement and be more motivated to start their journey and accountability and just documenting the process and tracking their growth. So the new planners is looking crazy. I'm going to send, I told you earlier, I'm going to send you a video and a picture of it because I received it last week. And then the app as well. So I've been making a lot of improvements and adjustments to the app. And that's going to be dropping right around the same time, January 1st. So 2024, you don't start 2024 in 2024. Right. It starts now. It starts in Q4 of 2023. So I got a lot of things cooking right now. So I'm excited to release and market all of that stuff. So that's my W for the week because I can't really think of nothing else. But I'm excited about that.
Right. So you got some Jamaican colors in the planners?
Nah, I was a red color wave is coming in the near future. But it's going to be exciting, bro. I can't release the color wave yet because I still need people to be excited about what I have now before January. So the color wave is going to be crazy.
Oh, you're going to get the Kingston joint.
That's coming soon. The Jamaican color wave is a must. So yeah, bro. So let's jump into the episode, right? So I think so far we've been doing pretty good. We've been having a consistent flow of W's. So we're gonna see who's gonna be the first one to take the next L. But right now we've been doing real good, bro. So the episode, right? The episode that the topic, the name of this episode is called Take a Look into the Mirror. And I want you to explain to the community why we decided to choose that topic and choose that title.
Yeah, the main reason we chose this topic is because it's the hardest thing to do. Especially personally, to take a look in the mirror, because it's going to require you to take accountability, and the same thing for your business. So when it comes down to it, we are, entrepreneurs, we're dreamers, we, creatives. However, when the plan doesn't go the way you want it to go, that's a perfect time to take a look in the mirror. But it's usually the hardest thing for an entrepreneur to do.
Yeah, that's so spot on, bro, because as business unfolds, it's just a lot of adjustments that need to be made. And sometimes what people tend to do is when adjustments need to be made, they try to make 10 adjustments at one time. And that's never a good idea, right? When things are unfolding, you just got to make one adjustment at a time, but that's really difficult to do.
Yeah, and I'm glad you mentioned that because I look at it as like a recipe. When you want to make it to come out, a certain way, you don't just change 4 or 5 seasons, you change one and you test it out. And I think if we analyze it from that point of view, we won't be trying to make all these drastic changes just because we're trying to get to the goal. And the goal is usually, X amount of dollars or, hiring people or building this type of system. And when you really want to dissect something, you change one tweak at a time. And then as you trial and error, and you make those adjustments quick, but just do it one at a time. And I think the confusion is doing many adjustments very quickly. Or
so why do you think that happens a lot? When it comes down to entrepreneurs, when something ain't going right, they'd be like, yo, let me just change the whole entree, right? Instead of just making one adjustment to the recipe.
Because instant gratification and, social media is great, but we use it as comparison. So if you have your brand and you see somebody just release theirs and their plan is sold out in 6 hours, they sold 1 million planners. And you're looking at what they did and it's different from what you do. And you're like, well, maybe I'm doing this wrong. Maybe I should just do what they did. And you just change everything. And I think that's usually the part where people shortchange themselves because Your route is your route. However, you can learn from somebody else, but don't just change your whole system after another person's system because they were successful at it.
Yeah, facts. Like each blueprint is different and is meant to be different. And even, you know, we always say comparison is the thief of joy, right? It's every blueprint is made up of different different steps. So I think that that's one thing that I'm understanding. And as I'm growing as an entrepreneur in a new lane, it's trying to make sure that, like, all right, Lakim, what is the blueprint that you want? And how can you make small adjustments to get to that end result? You know, and I think that's a big thing that entrepreneurs struggle with, bro, is they keep trying to change the whole blueprint instead of just changing one or two steps.
Yeah, changing the whole play. And I think another perspective that gets me is knowing who your audience is. So their target, you know, is different from your target if you referring back to your competition, but just in the sense of you might have to change your messaging. You might have to change your audience, the way you talk to them, the way you engage with them. These are certain little things that you might have to change. You might have to change your own market, your perception of yourself. But that's the hardest part, is because we always think it's exterior. Like if I just do X, Y, and Z, and it's like if you look within even more, then you can really figure out why are you doing this, and how would you feel if this doesn't happen? And I think that's a hard question for a lot of people, but that will make you kind of draw out your why. Like, so if you don't, become a millionaire, how would you feel?
Wow, that's a tough question.
And if you don't, if your planners don't sell out, how would you feel? And it's when you answer those questions, or what do you want to be remembered as, it changes for everybody. So you just change it. It's like you just change on different clothes, but your spirit and your soul is still the same.
Yeah.
It's not going to do anything. So you got to, renew your mind, take on different things, and look at different from a different lens. But essentially, looking in the mirror is the first step.
So for yourself, right? How have you looked into the mirror in different situations, from training and from funding? Like, have you been in situations where you feel like you tried to change the whole recipe or the whole meal instead of just, changing one step to the equation?
Yeah, it's been numerous times. I think the most recent one is with funding in particular, with helping people to, get into Amazon, help people get into Airbnb, and being a plug for that and marketing that as my, segue. But once Airbnb changed their laws, once Amazon wasn't working for me, it's like my integrity wouldn't allow my clients to do it if I wasn't successful at it. So I was literally mid-funding process getting my client funded to get an Amazon store. And then after I see what happened with my store, I'm like, you know what? I got to be honest with you. I will want you to get more funding, because he probably had like maybe 60,000 and he wanted to get 150. And I'm like, yo, I don't know the answer to this problem yet. So I don't want to bring this problem to you. So therefore, I suggest that we actually stop at this point. Like, we don't put in anything for more apps. So this way you just have the capital, and when you're ready to find a regular investment or another investment, you can make a move on it, or you can learn Amazon for yourself. And I had to pivot, based on how I was marketing myself as being a funding person. So I'm funding people to do what? And I had to really take time out. I had to stop. Like, not even with the changes, like I'm like, yo, maybe I could help them do this. And I was like, let me just stop. Let me really just take time to figure out what I really want to do and who I want to be in this space.
And take a look in the mirror. So like when you told that client that, how did they perceive it? How did they take that like, yo, we should stop like doing something that we initially talked about in the beginning, that we were going to do that together?
He respected it 1,000%. And that's what I appreciated more, because he's like, yo, it shows the integrity of you, the type of person you are. Because if he gets more funding, then I would essentially make more, commission on the back end. But at this point, it wasn't about that. It was about making sure my client is successful in his doing. And I realized I was taking on that because what I was marketing is that long as you have a 680 credit score, I can show you how to make passive income. So,
and on the last episode or a few episodes ago, you know, when we was talking about it, that was my impression too, that all that really mattered was the credit score. And then I guess even as you were, you know, making the adjustments, you stopped pointing at that point too, right?
yeah. So I stopped marketing that way. It's like, I'm just not taking you on because you got a credit score. I'm not just showing you how to build passive income. My niche now is helping people that's already in business, already in the fashion and beauty industry, that's already making money, that want to scale, or they want to get, you know, have enough capital for a startup in that particular field because I have resources connected in that field. So I literally didn't get to that point like overnight. I was making small little tweaks. First, I was dealing with realtors because I'm a realtor as well. Like if you want to do real estate investing, but a lot of realtors don't know how to invest. They just not do the retail side.
Yeah.
And then I wanted to help people, you know, just you know, scale their business, then realize, all right, but you got to grow their business before they can scale it.
Yep.
So it was a lot of different tweaks, a lot of trial and error. But even now, I don't think you know, master it, but I think I got a great starting point of who I want to help. And I think that's the part of entrepreneurs when you realize, let me make sure I'm moving forward, not I'm just moving. Because you could just be moving and never get to your destination.
Yeah.
So
I think you said it earlier, of like just you're going in the direction, but you're just in the wrong lane.
yeah. And I think having that moment of looking in the mirror is going to help you define that the most. And you just make a little tweak here, a little tweak here, a little tweak here. And then as you dissect your progress, you will see what's working and what's not working, and you know what you could do better at. And I think pointing the finger at yourself, but not beating yourself down is the hardest part.
I think that's kind of where even, you know, my transition. So I want to share my transition with you, and, you know, maybe it could help someone in the community. So when I transitioned into, you know, online coaching, I initially was just like, yeah, I just want to help, you know, any entrepreneur gain accountability, you know, through accountability coaching, through calls. And because I saw growth in myself with that. Well, it's crazy. I don't know if you remember this, but I think back in 2021, you told me to look into Tony Robbins. You had sent me a post or like a DM or something, and you was like, yo, check this out. And it was like a Tony Robbins ad or something. So you actually made me spend like $10,000. So
Nah.
now that I think about it, you definitely made me spend $10,000 because you referred me to this thing. And
I said it was free. It was free. He upsold you.
Yeah, he knew he was going to do that, yo. So Tony Robbins his team is savages. So you sent me this thing, and I was like, I'm gonna check it out. Hopped on a call with them, and it was like, yo, you know, based on where you at, we got a program for you, and it's only gonna be like 7 to 10,000, but we gonna get you your dream outcome. And I was like, I need that right now because I was looking for clarity, you know, and those clarity calls helped me a lot. It was just a phone call every single week with my coach. And it was just more of dissecting what's been going on. And I found a lot of value in that. And I was like, yo, I could do the same thing for other entrepreneurs. So I thought that was the route I wanted to go. So I started presenting that, start closing clients, and it was great. I started just on straight phone calls. But then I was like, this is not me. Me just doing phone calls is not how I operate. I operate where I'm able to read someone's facial expression, their body languages. So I transitioned to Zoom calls, and I seen even more progress that way, start getting more results. But as I kept developing and marketing that offer, I was like, yo, what's the real outcome that I'm getting people? Like, yeah, I'm giving them clarity. You know, they're making progress in their business because they're able to make better decisions. But I felt like it wasn't a measurable outcome. Right. And for me, I like to do things where if I do A and B, you could see what the outcome is, which is C, right? A plus B is C. And I just felt like with that offer, it just wasn't really clicking. So then I just kept making the adjustments. I was like, all right, so what I could do is maybe I need to focus on posting content, right? Let me figure out a system where I could post content consistently. And as I figured that out, I was like, yo, I can make that my offer, right? Maybe I want to help people post content consistently. And again, close a couple clients with that offer, but it just wasn't something I enjoyed because I didn't realize that when you help people post content, they're real picky about everything, bro. I'm just like, just let the team do what they're gonna do. And the most important thing is just that the content gets posted. But I start realizing how picking people were of like, oh, the font on that, I don't like the font on that. The picture, it had one little thing here. I'm like, yo, you're missing the purpose. The point in this is that
Wait, hold on. When you close the clients, did you take what you learned from Tony Robbins?
Yeah,
Oh,
definitely.
okay, so you got your money back.
Bro, that's not the point.
Continue.
That's not the point. The point is I spent money I spent thousands, 5 figures.
I'm not even an affiliate. I should have been an affiliate for that.
That's what I'm saying. Yo, I swear, bro, that post definitely made me pull the trigger. And I renewed I think I paid for like 5 or 6 months. And then after that, I renewed for like another 3 or 4 months.
Just an easy close, bro.
Yeah. They found me at a stage where I was looking for the solution, and they had the solution that I thought I needed. And it was good, but I don't know. But we digress. So back to, what I was saying. So like I was closing people on that offer and I was like, yo, this is cool. I'm making money, but I'm just not enjoying the outcome. Is like, do I want to brand myself as the person that helps people post content? And I just kept realizing that, and that's even a saturated niche, or that's a saturated market. So I've just been making the adjustments, bro. And every time I update my offer, I make a tweak to my offer, I got to look myself in the mirror and be like, yo, is this what you want to do? Right? Is this the journey you want to take your clients on? And it is taking me to where I'm at right now. And my offer, is helping people, create a free offer for their business to, like a lead magnet essentially. And then taking that lead magnet, putting that lead magnet on the landing page and then converting clients that way to grow their business. So every time I've been on this search of trying to figure out what's the angle that I really want to solve, I've always just had to take a look into the mirror and make one adjustment. But I want to like really, really narrow down and make this current offer work because, I feel like I've just been continuing to make tweaks. And each time I make a tweak, I do learn more about myself, but I want to like just take one angle and go at it. And it was crazy. Like a couple of weeks ago, maybe 2 weeks ago, I'm just like, all right, is this the offer I want to go at? Should I, make some adjustments now? But I feel like I haven't had enough sample size to determine how successful this current offer is. So it's just kind of, staying in this lane now and seeing how big I could make this particular niche,
Okay.
unravel.
So for those who don't know, what is your current offer? And who is it for?
Yeah, so right now the offer is for entrepreneurs that like online entrepreneurs that make anywhere between $4,000 to $8,000 in monthly revenue, and they want to get to the next level, right, by attracting more leads, but they feel stuck. So when people feel stuck, what's taking them to the next thing is getting more people through their business, getting more exposure. And the biggest way to gain more exposure is to get more leads, build that trust. And when those leads, come into your business, we know the next offer of closing them, of upselling them, kind of like what Tony Robbins did to me. So it's just helping entrepreneurs gain clarity on their customer journey. First, that's the first step. And then once we have that customer journey, then it's making sure that it converts so we could take a client all the way to my leads or my client's back end offer.
Okay. So for those who say that they know their journey, but they're making the 4,000 to 8,000, what's next for them?
So that's the thing.
They feel stuck.
Yeah, so they feel stuck at 4 to 8,000 because they know they want to, get to that 10K, 15K, 20K, revenue mark, and just being able to serve more people. So for me, what I want to do is I want to help them kind of unlock that next level of their business, because I know how it feels to be at that, 4 to 8,000 dollar mark. But bro, once you hit the 10K mark, right, then I don't know. I feel like just a new door opens of possibilities. And I know how people feel when they're in that mark. But once you unlock that new level, then it shows you that your business is really who your business thinks it is. And then once you hit 10, then you feel confident that you can make it to 15. And then once you have 15, you feel confident that you can make it to 20 and 30,
Mhm. I think also want to talk about the strategy about looking in the mirror. Like, what does that really look like? It's an analogy that we are using. But what I did for my business is I literally wrote down, I always write down everything. But one of the frameworks I wrote down is what I like, no, what I love, what I like, and what I don't like. And I made 3 columns on that. And simply that was to help me to figure out what can I delegate to my team and what can I, automate through a system. Because all business is not fun. Like there's a lot of boring stuff that needs to get done on the back end that nobody sees. So when I minimize what I need to do, and I'm still working on that list, this is an ongoing thing. But if you actually initially do this, you will see the growth in your business. So it's like, I just want to make content. I want to be on the calls, and I want to make sure the invoices is situated the right way.
Yeah.
So I wanted to narrow down to 3 to 5 the most important things that needs to be done absolutely by me. And everything else, I either, have a system or app for it, or I have, my assistant take care of. And I think by just doing that simple framework will give you a strategy on how to go forward. Because most of the time when you look in the mirror, you look at what you don't like about yourself.
That's a
But
fact.
you don't really think about, I actually love this. I actually love this about myself. Yeah, I like doing this, but give or take depending on the day. But when you identify what you truly love, focus on that. And then from that framework, it gave me a lot of clarity on how to go about going forward. Me circling like, somebody else could do that. Somebody else do that. I'm doing this, but this is not bringing in no revenue. Like really do your own analysis. And I think that was a strategy that started me to start making those little tweaks and those little changes.
Yeah, no, and I think that, there's a lot of gems in what you just unraveled, because every adjustment that I make, every time I look into the mirror and I make a tweak, my initial thought is, all right, this aspect of this offer is working, but this aspect you're not enjoying as much. So how can you continue making those small adjustments in things that you actually enjoy? And I feel like that's what I've always been doing. But I actually have the confidence and I have the awareness to be like, there needs to be some type of adjustment. Because when I was, I just decided to narrow down that niche with entrepreneurs, and I intentionally made that 4 to 8K mark as my attract and repel, right? Because I realized that if somebody is making less than, $3,000 to $4,000, they probably can't afford my upsell and my customer journey, right? Yeah. And then for those people that are making 15, 20, 30,000, they may not see the value in what I'm trying to help them uncover because they may feel like they already have it figured out, right? Even though no one ever has it figured out. But I just know that those entrepreneurs between that particular criteria, they have that problem. And sometimes they just don't even know it. So what I have to do is once I pick that niche, I have to continue letting them know that they do have a problem. And the longer they wait, the worse this problem is going to get. So that's what I'm currently consistently improving on. But I just had to take a look in the mirror and just be like, Kim, you got to keep making this niche down. Who do you want to serve? And a lot of entrepreneurs, that's their issue. They still never really narrow down who they want to serve and who your business is for and who is not for.
Have you ever came across a conflict of people you want to work with than the people that are attracted to you?
Yeah, definitely. So like, I feel like right now, the people who are attracted to me are the people that are below the income requirement that I'm looking for, right? Yeah, like
the choice of words.
Yeah, yeah. I want to be too blunt, just be like the brokies. But it's the people that don't have any type of revenue yet, but they're trying to get there. So it's kind of like I commend them because they're trying to get to the 3, the 4 to 8K mark, right? They really want to get there, but they're just like, they have no traction. They got no movement. So they want to get movement. So they reached out to me and say, yo, can you help me gain some traction? But it's like, I don't even know if your business solves the problem. So if we don't have no proof of concept, I don't want to, help you promote something that has no proof, no evidence that it could provide a solution to people yet.
So would you turn away somebody that made 5K once?
Nah. So what I like is I like people that has made some type of revenue, showing that they have a service or a product that's desirable. If you've made $5,000 once, that means at some point, unless the beginning stages was all friends and family, you just got your cousins, your brothers, and everybody to support you one time. But more than likely, if you made 5K once, there's a desire there that people want what you have.
Because I think that's the hardest part, like with humans in relationships, is like, women say it all the time. Guys say it, but they just go with it. But women's like, yo, I keep attracting the wrong kind of guy. And in your business, if you keep attracting the wrong type of client or customer, take a look in the mirror.
Yeah.
Because it might be your copy. Like, who are you targeting? Who are you writing to? It might be your placement. And I think sometimes people understand what you don't say or don't speak about says a lot as well. So, for example, for funding, your credit has to be a certain criteria. However, I don't market credit repair, because when I market credit repair, I'm going to bring everybody who got, 550 credit scores and ain't trying to get funding. Like, that's not what I market. And I think taking that approach of like, I'm not even talking to y'all, so y'all not even going to be able to look my way. And it's not disrespectful because they just know I'm not talking to you. The people I know who I'm speaking to are people that are already in the field, but they're just getting denied. They're getting denied in their process because they might have too many inquiries or their utilization might be high. And it's like, you got to dive even deeper of your target market and change your audience. And I think that is going to be the game changer. So you won't be attracting these clients that's not your ideal client. You just keep getting, these 2s and 3s when you want really, everybody 8 and above.
And I feel like that's a big part, bro, is what I got to continue working on, and what most entrepreneurs got to work on, is the repel aspect. And what's crazy is I said that, and when I do my, my one-on-one calls or my discovery calls, I always tell that to my client, whoever your niche is, it needs to attract and repel that particular avatar. And a lot of the time they say, like, why would I want to repel? Like, why should my business repel? And I think the reason of why every business should repel is because you want to become an expert for the people that you serve, right? So the analogy that I use a lot is, let's say you want to get wedding pictures, right? There's 2 types of people you could get to take wedding pictures. You could get someone who's a generalist, like a photographer that take pictures of cars, they take pictures of nature, they take pictures of animals, right? That's one option. Or the second option is you could, get a photographer that specialized in strictly wedding pictures, right? Who would you want to take your wedding picture for one of your most important days of your life, right? Hopefully you would want the photographer who specialized strictly in wedding pictures. Now, do you think the photographer who specialized in wedding pictures, is he going to be more expensive or less expensive than the generalist who takes pictures of nature, cars, animals, and stuff like that? You would expect them to be more expensive. And that's the thing that I'm continuing to work on is I want to keep repelling the people, and I'm just not repelling enough. And I feel like my issue is I'm too nice. So I'm trying not to hurt.
That nice.
And I'm trying not to hurt people's feelings, but I'm like, nah, I got to, bro, because if not, they're going to view me as this generalist photographer instead of the specialist who's supposed to be more expensive.
So what hurts more? Being real with them up front, or after the call, they're like, yo, I can't pay you. I can't afford this.
And that's what I've been experiencing, bro. And it's been irking me.
I love your program. I need it, but I can't afford it.
Be like, yo, and the funniest thing, bro, is when I hop on a call and after I break everything down, it's like, yo, Kim, this is great, but my revenue is zero. Like, yo, how did I hop on? Like, how did I get on a call with you if your revenue is zero? Why are we speaking? So I think, yeah, that's what I definitely and this is a message to myself is like, I need to be more firm. And Kim, you have to be more upfront, and you got to keep repelling regardless of if it hurts people's feelings. So if you're an entrepreneur, don't be scared for your business to repel, because if not, you're going to attract the wrong people, and then they're going to repel you when it comes to payments because they can't afford it.
And I think too, like it's two things. It's the mirror effect, where it's like if you're attracting the type of client, you want to be that client for somewhere else.
Mm-hmm.
So, for example, I don't even use the word expensive because it's not expensive. I just got to make more money.
Yeah.
So that's all relative based on what level you at. So I don't even try to use that in my marketing at all. And I notice when people use that or they say that, I'm like, all right, they're not going to be able to, be good for my services. So when you start studying the words that your people use, it makes it different. Then you start studying who you are as well. Like, yo, what kind of buyer am I in the marketplace? If I'm the buyer that's never going to buy, I'm the buyer that's like, all right, this probably makes sense. Or I'm the one that's just like, oh, I need this, I'm going to buy, and I'm going to figure it out later. So you want to figure out, where you at. And that's a mirror effect based on what's going on. So if you never bought a 10K course, then why are you charging 10K for yours? It don't sit right, So after, spending money investing myself, it's been much easier to talk about, it's going to be, 10,000, 12,000. All right, cool. So when my client telling me like, and I get paid on the back end now, what fun, it was like, I ain't worried about your feet. All right, we'll take care of that. As long as you could get me where I need to go, then I'm cool. Because I'm the same way. It's like, I'm not trying to wait in this line. I'll pay whatever.
Yeah.
Or I want my hookah now. Like, I don't want to wait. Whatever it is. And I think when you become that person, when you are that person, it's much easier to market without feeling like, because you don't have to be rude or disrespect nobody or put anybody down or make yourself better in your marketing. But it's just like, you're not talking to me. Because it's like, right now, I'm not going in Rolls Royce. Like, they're not talking to me.
Yeah.
Like, when they talking about, getting on they certain G5s or they planes, they private jets, and they having issues with finding a pilot. That's not my problem right now. And respectfully, it's not. So I don't feel no type of way. So it's about understanding, who you are. Because Drake does this all the time. It's like, we don't stay at resorts. And it's like, that's Drake. Like, it's a difference. People that's in his bracket, that's their problem. Like, I want a private island. I don't want to stay in a resort that anybody can stay at. Because why? Because they can afford it. So it's like, it's a respected thing where it's like, he's not talking to me. Like, the lyrics sound good, but I'm about to stay at this resort. I'm about to stay at this B&B. Yeah. Like, it's gonna be nice for what I've been through. But yeah, he not talking to me, but I'll sing along the song. But fuck what Drake say. Like, I'm gonna stay here.
Yeah, no, that's a fact, bro. He definitely has a way of speaking to people, and it's either, most people can't relate to it, but the people who can, they be like, yo, bro, like that message, that part of the song, yeah, now I vibe with that.
Yeah, and that's why your messaging, aka your copy, aka your captions, what you say in your videos matter so much.
Yeah.
Stop trying to catch this big net and just try to catch who you can, and then you realize you only got 2 good fish out of 100. Like,
I remember you saying too, you said something, crap, what did you say? You said something about, damn, I lost my train of thought. If it comes back to me, I'll tell you, but you said something earlier in the episode of something. Damn, I had it. I'll come back to it. I'll come back to it if it comes to me. But you had said something that I really, really think I want to emphasize on. But if it comes back to me, I'll let you know.
I realized that copy was very important, and when I like really took a deep dive and I started studying words, and I started like putting my own like words together, not making up words, but patterns of words that people use in a certain bracket. And it's been dope. Like, I didn't release the framework, but if we understand language is always the common fact, no matter what country you go to, is only way you understand me if we speak the same language. And then sometimes we might not speak the same, but body language will tell everything. Like, yo, I'm about to beat you up. Like, you understand that. So it's like, if we understand language for our business and our clients and our customers, that would be a game changer, where it's a tweak where, you kind of overlook, because you just think like, well, they should need it. Like, for example, everybody should work out. It's a healthy thing to do. Yeah, we know that, but everybody's not in the gym. The gym is never overly packed unless, you go to a Planet Fitness or something. But what I mentioned,
January, or unless it's January. Yeah,
in January. And why, like, when I mention Planet Fitness, what comes to mind. It's the cheapest. People don't want to spend that much on themselves. They just trying to go in there. It's like a community in there. It's a different. You don't have a limited equipment. Like, these are the things you think of when you hear Planet Fitness. Yeah. Most people only go there because of the time that is available. But when you think of Lifetime Fitness, you're like, oh man, I might see, a celebrity here. They got top-notch equipment. It's going to be $150, $200 a month. They got saunas, they got spas. And it's so crazy what is attached to these 2 different places. Now, granted, you could get a great workout in Planet and Lifetime. However, the perception is everything. Now, Lifetime is going to have some stuff that Planet do not have.
Facts, yeah.
People that go to Planet is not going to be able to go to Lifetime.
Yeah.
It's 2 different brackets. But you got to know what bracket you run for your business. So you could be the Planet of your marketplace, or you could be the Lifetime of your marketplace. So they both could be profitable businesses, but it all depends on who you are. So if you're a person that, that goes to Planet, but you're selling a Lifetime Fitness product or service, then it's not going to really correlate. It's not going to be in sync.
Connect. Yeah, that's definitely not going to connect.
So, it's important to dissect yourself by taking a look in the mirror outside of your business. Like, yo, what kind of person I am? I always do reverse engineering. Like, yo, why do I buy this? Why do I drive a Beamer? Well, I drive a Beamer because Benz didn't give me a good return. So I just became Beamer getting sense. Yeah. But why do I feel like I got to have a Beamer or a Benz? I ask, why do I buy these certain things? Why do I buy clothes before I go on vacation? Why do I do that? And it's like, once you start analyzing yourself, why I made those quick decisions. I saw something on Instagram, I bought it the next day.
And that's the kind of buyer I am. I'm such an impulse buyer. If I want something, I'm going to get it. But like, if I'm on the fence on something, it's like I'm the worst buyer because I need, weeks to think about it. But if I want it, I'm like, no hesitation. I'm getting it right on the spot.
Yeah, and when you realize it, you start to laugh, but you gotta realize, like, yo, this is what I need to be for somebody else.
Yeah.
And I think for me, I'm the person that's a study. Like I see it, I'm like, oh, this is actually dope. I had to run to the ad a couple of times. Then I usually look at the competition first. And then one is like, they throw out a sale. I'm like, all right, this makes sense. I looked everywhere else. I did my research. I'm gonna get it for $50 off. I'm buying
Yeah.
and then I'm not gonna just buy one. I want multiple. So it's like that's the type of person I am. So I'm like, yo, let me be this person. So when I'm speaking in my content, I'm speaking in my captions, my consumer, my client that I'm speaking to is going to think just how I think. Like, you know what? You okay? I don't care about your success fee for funding. If you could just get me this done in the fastest amount of time so I can run my play, I'm good.
They just care more about the outcome. Yeah, bro. And I feel like, so, as we kind of get to like, the final thoughts with taking that look in the mirror, bro, because I think taking the look in the mirror to me just means, being able to self-evaluate yourself, right? Being able to dissect the good and the bad, what's working, what's not working, and getting inside of the mind of your customer so you could really get to the root of the problem, the solution, the pain points, whatever that customer is really on the hunt for. That's how I really, really envision take a look into the mirror, because I feel like after this episode, I need to continue taking a look into the mirror and just be like, I got to keep repelling the brokies. Like it's so frustrating that I'm being nervous to repel people, but then I'm being frustrated when they say they can't afford what I'm providing, right? So that's why I need to take a look into the mirror. So for yourself, KB, what would you say is like some of your final thoughts on why, you consistently, gotten to a point where you're okay with taking a look into the mirror? And why do you feel like every entrepreneur that's listening to this episode should take time to just take a look into the mirror and see where they're at?
I believe that you should definitely take a look in the mirror because it's not nobody else, it's you. Like your business is where it's at, your relationship where it's at, your bank account is where it's at because of you. And when you give yourself that type of accountability, it's like, yo, I have to make some changes about me. And that might be the hardest thing to do, or it might be the hardest thing to hear and to actually do. But it's the most necessary and most important thing to do is actually to make those certain tweaks. And it doesn't have to be drastic. It could be minor. But as you consistently make adjustments, then you start finding the right tuning. And now you be able to find your own beat, your own drum, and now you be able to be a hit, essentially. And that's how all greats start. And nobody just come out the game, on 1,000. And it makes the journey that much sweeter. And that's what entrepreneurship is all about, is making those tweaks, never stopping, making those changes, taking a look in the mirror, and never quitting.
Heavy, bro. And I want to leave the community with one thing. So the realest quote that my mentor said that was the most valuable, but also the most painful for me to hear was my mentor said, Lay Kim, you are where you are because of who you are. Right. So I want to share that with everyone that's listening. You are where you are because of who you are. If you're winning, that's because of who you are. If you're losing, that's because of who you are, right? Because of the decisions you made in the past and what you're currently making right now. So in order for us to continue growing, right, we have to keep making the small adjustments, keep becoming better. So then that way we could be who we're supposed to be, because your current situation is a combination of everything you've done in the past. So if you want your future to look better, you got to start making better decisions now, and you got to be okay with sometimes pausing, taking a look into the mirror, and making those adjustments so you can become a better version. So that's, my final thought. And for anybody that's made it this far in the episode, like what we always ask, if you've gotten any value from what KB and I, what we share on each episode, do us a favor, share the podcast with somebody that needs to hear this. And tell them to leave us a 5-star review, because that's how we continue to get the word out about entrepreneurship. So if you got value from this, share this with somebody. It really helps us grow.
got one more thing, bro. Yeah, the Lakers need to take a look in the mirror and get rid of AD.
He did not have to say that. All right, we out of here.
Anyone can start, but only champions finish. Now that you've completed this episode, you're ready to continue your journey by connecting directly with our hosts of Entrepreneurhood. Follow us on Instagram at The Entrepreneurhood to stay updated with the community. For each episode, the first set of listeners to tag us on Instagram and leave a 5-star review will be entered into a drawing to get a free one-on-one coaching session on the topic of entrepreneurship with our hosts. Remember, there is no shame in struggling, because we fail, we grow, and we win. Right here on Entrepreneurhood.